1, 2, 3, and up we go, right? To do A, B, C, D. If that happens, then upside objectives would be all the way up there at what's that? 9 cents a coin. And if you don't think this happens, actually Bitcoin just did this. Somebody asked me to look at SKL versus Tether. SKL. Let's see what we got here. Now that's a better looking chart. Notice we're actually getting that moving average cross happening here. Hasn't quite come in yet. Still a V bottom. If anything, 8s and 9s on Tom DeMark. I think that's sort of telling you, we're probably at some sort of extreme. Does the extreme translate into just some back and forth to clean things up, and then we got another leg lower? It could be. In this particular case, 8s and 9s, it translated into a nice pop higher. Is this a quote unquote bottom? I don't think so. I think what's probably happening here is, and of course, it's pure conjecture. Boom, 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 boom. Which means that going forward, this level here is going to be super important for us to watch. First off, you'd like to see this as symmetrical as possible. So that means in the short term, I actually would like to see a little bit more of a pump up higher here. And I think as long as this short-term inertia goes, well, okay, cool. As it stands right now, that's what your head and shoulders look like. Yeah, okay. But I think probably a couple things that you really want to see. You'd like to see some momentum divergence from the left shoulder down to the head. So do we have that divergence? We do. You can see on the move to the head, momentum did not break to new lows. Willie's pretty stupid. RSI, I mean, not compelling, but constructive. And it looks like somebody is very interested in this name. Really, really good example of an OBV divergence. And I've told you guys before, OBV divergences are sexier than sex. I guess it would make sense, right? Especially on Binance, especially with all the FUD about how this exchange is highly manipulated and how, they're basically crooked like everybody else, it seems, in crypto. The Binance guys, they're probably all long from this level. Does this have more history and more data prior to this? Probably. But, the guys who are running the book on Binance, they probably don't want to see this thing go too much lower than that low there. So what a surprise. They bring it down into that level. You can see the selling volume is almost nothing. So clearly it was drifting in divergence volume-wise. If this really was a nasty bear, you would have seen the bears, the red bars get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then, the trend in the selling is just going crazy. But you see on that move to new lows, basically the bears disappeared. So as soon as the bulls sort of sniffed that out, they were like, okay, it looks like the sellers are done. Let's start ramping this thing back up. Because this is a V bottom, you can't really do a heck of a lot with that. Weekly W's. We're going to want to see some sort of W price action. Really, I suppose maybe like a 200 period moving average on a weekly would maybe give you something to work with. I think we have there's the 50. We have the 2 already on here, so we don't have enough data. Yeah, okay, so you can see 50 period week, which 50 times 7 would be like 350. Is that? I think that's... which is basically like a 1 year moving average to all intents and purposes. Is there anything for a guy like me to do right here, right now? No, not really. I suppose if you were like, well, Brian, I'm bullish and we're going to get a moving average cross. So what's going to take for you to get bullish? Well, as you can see, I think the way I would interpret this now is it's a moving average sandwich. So what we really want to see is we want to see the moving average sandwich resolve, which means we would like to see some sort of consolidation in here. And then that, of course, we'll set up a bullish bot setup. So, we could probably go down to like, I don't know, let's try a daily chart. There's reload zones if you're going to reload zone this. The bot setup that I was painting earlier would be sort of like, I want to see at least 33, but I don't want to see beyond 66. So and that kind of makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. You don't want to see the market tank below all these moving averages and stuff. That's that, and you can see this 50, it'll be up there here. So you probably don't want to see a breakdown below that. So if this is a bullish bot, then we go boobity boo, boobity boo. If this happens to be the lowest low that you see, and that is the end of the selling, then we're going to take that there, and then we're going to do bot trade levels there. And you know what you'd ideally like to see is 1, 2, 3, and up we go, right? To do A, B, C, D. If that happens, then upside objectives would be all the way up there at what's that? 9 cents a coin. And if you don't think this happens, actually Bitcoin just did this, which was super cool. And you know, sometimes these ABCDs actually translate into even bigger formations, alt ABCDs. And so on Bitcoin, I think what's happening here is this is exactly the same thing. So the initial move that we saw yesterday was that big spring there. Probably do this off like 9-minute chart or something. There we go. So A to B, and then market did not go beyond 66. So 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows. And I even sort of tweeted out, holy crap, what a level. Because you can see, look at the fight that happened in here right at the bot entry level. 1, 2, 3, 4, like they just, you know, the bullish break. And look how it came even back down and kissed that level again. So that was just a killer level. So in this particular case also too, this was fascinating. Market ran up to move stop to scratch, came right back down and played exactly with that level and said, nope, I don't want to go below. I want to head higher. And woohoo, took off like a rocket. Here's, as I said, good example of the alt ABCD, where alt ABCDs can be either 127.2 all the way up to 1.618. And it looks to me like we've got a date with that 1.618 all the way up top there. So interesting how we stalled out earlier this morning at that 127 and said, nope, I want to head higher. You know, your coin might do exactly the same thing. You know, if you're futures trading and you're at like some sort of prop firm or something like that, it's probably a good idea to take profits at 100%. If you're just trading the shit coins and you got 437 coins, yeah, there's no reason why you can't sell like 400 of them and then maybe throw a crazy ass order up at the 127 to let a bit more go. Throw an order up at the 1.618. And if you get some sort of absolutely insane blow off top, you get some fills all the way up top there too. It could happen. It wouldn't surprise me. And then also too, sort of a final thought here. We clearly have a range here. So what do you think is the knee jerk, keep it simple, stupid? I always should think that the market at any given point in time can trade to this level. What number am I thinking in my head? Thank you, Nick. Nick said that this thing's probably likely to bounce to 38.2s because that's a pretty good place that we should always think that the market wants to go to at any given point in time. So let's see where 38.2s line up. Not a bad idea to have it in your toolkit as a default number. And lo and behold, 1.618s and 38.2s, not bad. That's looking like a level. Probably also too, you're going to get some play against these lows, that low there, that low there. Might be interesting also too. Interesting, those are right at the bot objective. But actually, wow, this is interesting. Look how value low just so happens to be right in your 38.2 area as well. And then also too, another longtime site OG student, the whole thing, Collins. In this case, it would be the dump chaser. If I actually wanted to short this thing and join the short orgy, where would I want to do that? Well, actually, that turns out that's way up there. Looking for a move up into that area down the road, that's not unrealistic. And notice there's the top of value right there.